I'm always shocked when I ask this question.
Yeah.
Some of the answers that I get, right? So, growing up, did anything like, ever happen to you when you was younger or anything like that?
Yeah, well, truth be told, I was actually abducted.
What?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing that's happened to me in my
What
life.
age?
This was fresh out of high school. I was technically an adult now. I was like 18.
So you was 18, and what happened?
And I don't even tell nobody this shit, so you're getting a lot out of me. You're getting too much.
I tend to have that effect. I do tend to have that effect.
But
I am able to get things out of people. This is such a crazy story, though.
Yeah, I know.
Because here's the thing. People need to hear this.
Yeah.
This could happen to anybody.
It has happened to many.
Oh my God. You escaped death.
Yeah, I know.
What's up, YouTube? Make sure that you click the notification bell. We're going to be going live in 2024, doing live interviews, and I want to make sure you catch it in the moment. So make sure you tap that notification bell. Now back to the content.
What's up, YouTube? Atlanta Street Interviews, out here with another one in New York, guys. We're out here in White Plains, New York. How you doing today, miss?
I'm doing okay.
All right. So, are you homeless?
Yes, currently.
Okay, so how old are you?
I am now 30 years old.
30 years old.
Yes.
And so how long have you been homeless?
Now since May.
Since May?
Almost a year.
Okay. And so what was it that happened in May that caused you to become in this position?
Okay, so I basically was living in Yonkers. I had an apartment, but what happened was I had a slumlord who wasn't providing any heat or hot water while I was there for majority of the winter, and so the whole building kind of like got taken. Well, first of all, the slumlord sold the building.
Okay.
Right in the midst of that going on, so everybody in my building stopped paying rent because of the condition.
Right.
Nobody's gonna pay for that. So in the process of no one paying, she sells the building. She sells the building.
Right.
And the new guy that buys the building, I guess he doesn't even know what he walked in on when he bought the building, because long story short, he found out no one was trying to pay rent because we had all these bad conditions. We had a bad boiler, is what she would say at times. And then basically we were just all taken to court. One day we woke up after the guy bought the building. He hit us all with a notice illegally, in a very illegal way, because he basically stuck it on our doors at like after 11 o'clock, right before midnight, and we all were supposed to be in court for the following morning. So it was crazy.
Oof.
When we saw that notice early in the morning.
Right, that's wild.
To be in court the same day. Yeah, it was really crazy. So he served everyone in the building. A lot of people he cut deals with, they paid some and then left, and I refused to cut the deal because I wasn't gonna pay for nothing when I'm suffering with no hot water and heat. So I stood on it till they basically took me to trial. And when they took me to trial, they waived everything, but for them to do so, I was told that I had to get out the apartment, right? So that was basically the stipulation. The only way I won't be able to pay anything that I refused to pay during those conditions was if I left. So I left, and
how long ago after like that the stuff got so okay? So that happened in May. When did the notice and everything get put on the door? That was in May as well?
No. The notice got put on. It was months. This was a month process.
So it was months.
It was months, and within those months, we still was going through the same problems.
Same stuff.
Not only did I have. Not only was it no heat or hot water, my ceiling came down in my bedroom because there was a leak from the roof. My building was only 4 floors. Mm-hmm. And the lady on the 4th floor, she had a leak in her bedroom, right? Oof. From the roof. And there was a crazy storm that we had last year where the whole city got flooded. I don't know if you've seen it. People brought out jet skis.
I think I remember that.
Shit,
yeah, I remember that. I remember that, yeah.
This morning, New Yorkers drying out after a dangerous deluge left many areas underwater from record-breaking rain. Over the last 24 hours, unrelenting rain turning roads into rivers, cars stranded as people flee for dry ground, and millions of New Yorkers urged to shelter in place. In New Jersey, a state of emergency. Floodwater swamping roads, making travel dangerous and nearly impossible. In Fairfield, watch as a firefighter hoists a driver over his shoulders, rescuing him from the stranded car in the middle of a flooded street. One of at least 18 rescues throughout the region. In New York, states of emergency in New York City and the Hudson Valley. One of the Big Apple's wettest days on record, with more than half a foot of rain falling. The NYPD sharing video of this sea lion that escaped from its enclosure due to the flooding, but returned without leaving the zoo. The torrential downpour sending water cascading downstairs at subway stations.
During that time was when everybody's bedroom ceiling came crashing down, including mine. Everybody that was above me and below me, basically.
Okay, so I get it. So, I
So
mean,
it was just a lot.
yeah, long and short, you was in the slumlord situation, and
Yeah,
it didn't
and
work
now-
out, and you end up here. I get
And
it.
now I'm here, and this experience isn't the best.
Well,
either.
what about it isn't the best?
I mean, it started off seeming like it is. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like God did bless me and put me probably in the best shelter in New York. I can say that. But at the same time, there's a lot of bad things going on. So basically, I haven't really got much help. I haven't really heard anything about an apartment or programs to help me get into an apartment and stuff like that. I want to work, but I don't have any help with daycare with my youngest one. And
oh, by the
so
way, how many
have
kids?
two kids.
2 kids? How old?
I have an 8-year-old who will be 9 next month, and then
Okay.
I have a 3-year-old.
Okay.
And so
So as far as it goes, do they do like I think they call it in Atlanta caps, where it's like it basically is low for low income folks to have basically free or low cost daycare.
right, they technically do that. And again, for you to receive that, you got to be working, and it's an oxymoron. My daughter, she's autistic, so right now they have her services on standstill. So that's the real issue. Because my daughter's
that's a
services is
problem.
on standstill, I can't move forward.
Why do
in
they
terms of
have her
going to work.
services on standstill?
I don't know. I cannot tell you. They say they don't have any therapists. They don't have this. They don't have that. It's taking them forever to find her in school.
For a 3-year-old autistic child, and they can't put the pedal to the metal?
Yeah. And I've been going through that since I
How
was
does
in
that
my
make you
apartment.
feel?
It makes me feel really bad because this is the longest I've never worked. I've always had 2 jobs the least. I've always worked nonstop. Before I had my daughter, I was working 2 years straight, no breaks, 6 days a week. It took for me to have my daughter to take a break. So that's the type of drive I naturally have. And this is the longest I've never been able to get back to that momentum, like that drive that I
get it.
had. And so,
All right, so 30 years old. Have you ever been married? No? Okay. So
and they lost all my shit here. I forgot. That's what I found out for Christmas.
What do you mean they lost it?
So long story short, DSS, which is Department of Social Services,
Right.
they basically have a storage system. Like for people who come here, when they come here, if you don't have storage, they'll provide you storage for your stuff, right?
Okay.
Now, I didn't know any of that coming in because I'm not really familiar with the shelter system. This is all new for me. So when I came in, I made sure I secured my stuff before even coming here. I paid for a storage.
Storage, right.
And it wasn't easy paying for that storage
Right.
because I'm not working. I
Right.
have to ask around for help and stuff like that. So it was my 3rd month in here, like around August, that I found out that they provide storage.
Right.
And I found out from my caseworker, he told me that I should switch it over, if I'm having issues paying. So I did that. And long story short, my stuff never made it to their facility. They kept giving me the runaround for months. In September, when I kept calling to see if I could get access to my stuff. After they took over my storage with Life Storage no longer contacted me. They were contacting them. I was cut out of it. They literally took it over, right?
So what ended up happening?
What ended up happening is after Christmas, I finally hear something, and it's the worst news ever. Your stuff was auctioned off. and that's not my fault. So now I'm fighting to hear back from them because if they don't cut me a check, I'm gonna sue because that's my whole life that was in that storage. Forget the material stuff, which there was a lot of shit. Sorry, excuse my language.
Okay.
I had a lot of stuff. I had from TVs, furniture, to my kids' stuff, clothes. Like my kids' clothes, they'll grow out of that. So I didn't really care too much. But my stuff is like, come on. And then, I don't know, like...
I get it. So, okay, so that's how we find ourselves in this position.
Right.
All right, never been married. Okay, so let's start from the beginning.
Right.
Where you from?
The Bronx, New York.
Hey, man, shout out that BX, man.
Excellent.
Shout out that New York, man. Shout out the whole city, man. Yes, sir. Atlanta Street Interviews, we up here.
Right.
All right, man, and so growing up in the Bronx, and by the way, Shout out Mount Vernon, man.
Shout out to
That's
Mount
where your
Vernon.
boy is from, money earning Mount Vernon. So shout it out.
Hey.
All right, man. And so growing up in the Bronx, did you have
Yeah.
both mom and dad in the household?
For a little while.
Up to what age?
Up to I was 7, and then my
7?
dad got deported.
Got
He's
deported?
Jamaican, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Jamaican, and your mom, is
Yeah.
she just foundational Black American, like FBA?
No, she's Jamaican.
So she's Jamaican as well.
Mhm.
Okay, but she had her paperwork and stuff straight.
Yep, her paperwork
Okay.
and shit is straight.
When he got deported at 7, what kind of effect did that have on you?
It affected me. I miss my father, of course, but then my stepfather came into the picture, and he was there till I graduated
What
high
age did he
school
come
and all
into?
of that. Okay, so that's kind of that story's kind of funny, you see, because should I even be so truthful?
Well, yes.
He's been in my life since I was born, put it that way.
Okay, so your mom was cheating, basically.
No, he was my godfather first.
Oh, wait. Oh, boy, they say you gotta watch the ones closest to you, boy. Ooh-wee.
Yes.
So so hold on. He was your godfather?
Yeah.
And who decided to make him your godfather? Your mom or your dad?
I think they both did. He was friends with both of them.
And so after your dad got deported, how long was it before he came into the picture
It
as...
was long because my mom got with my sister's dad first.
Okay. So she
And
had
then-
another kid in between.
Yeah, and
Right.
then he got locked up, and then he got deported.
Okay, so wait, so like your dad and all these guys, are these like kind of like street guys, like these, Jamaican kind of, oh yeah, man.
At the time, yes.
Or
Yeah,
the black cloud.
they were terrible with it. They was
Okay, so they was the shotters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your mom's into those types of. I get it.
She
I ain't mad at
was.
that. She was. It was young ladies.
She hung it up right after my sister's dad, though.
That was it.
That was
so
it.
the Godfather, he wasn't quite like that.
Not like that at all.
Okay.
No.
I get it. All right. And so how many siblings do you have?
Well, I'm the oldest, and I have 3 younger siblings. I have 2 sisters and a brother.
Okay. And so
No,
growing up.
Oh God, I lied. I have 3 sisters and a brother.
Ooh, wait,
Sorry,
one of your
'cause
sisters gonna get you.
2 of my siblings are in Jamaica.
Okay.
So, sorry.
It's
They're-
okay.
Sorry.
Okay, so growing up, would you say that you had like a fairly normal childhood?
Normal? I wouldn't call it that.
Tell me about it.
I mean, it was quite unstable, but stable at the same time. I don't even think that makes sense.
No, it definitely makes sense.
The household
we know about that in our
itself,
community.
like how I was raised, things I was taught within the house had stability, but us constantly moving from one place to the other is the part that was unstable. I went to school in Jersey. I lived in Virginia. You know what I mean? In my older years, by my choice, I've lived in Atlanta.
So you did live in Atlanta. How long?
Yeah, for 4 years. Yeah. Well, not Atlanta.
Shout out that
Stockbridge,
ATL.
Stockbridge.
Man, shout out Stockbridge, man. Shout out Stockbridge. It's close enough. It's Metro Atlanta. It's Metro Atlanta.
right
It's all
there.
love. So wait, okay. So I'm gonna ask about that, but real quick, I do want to ask because I'm always shocked when I ask this question.
Yeah.
Some of the answers that I get, right? So, growing up, did anything like ever happen to you when you was younger, or anything like that?
Yeah, well, truth be told, I was actually abducted.
What?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing that's
Wait,
happened to me in my
What
life.
age?
This was fresh out of high school. I was technically an adult now. I was like 18.
So you was 18, and what happened?
And that's a long story. That's a whole nother story in itself.
Come on, this is the good stuff.
This
Trust
is
me.
a whole nother story in itself, but I gotta make it. I gotta try to wrap it up because that's a story that I could sit all day.
Well, we don't want you to sit
but,
all day, but just tell us the general,
Generally, I was staying with my grandparents at the time on the concourse. I was working at Forever 21 in the city, and at that time, I would commute. I would take the B or the D train to Times Square and take it back to the concourse, and I was just working like nonstop. So I remember I did meet my attacker before he actually attacked me, and it was like 2 days prior. Because he complimented my pea coat, and at the time I had this cheetah print pea coat from Forever 21, and I was running to the train that day, so I didn't really get a good glimpse of his face. But I remember he was like, "Oh, I like your coat," and I looked back and I said, "Thank you," but I was trying to catch the train,
Right.
so I was running down the
Not really
steps.
thinking nothing of it.
Didn't think nothing of it, mind you. The time I come off of work, I'm getting off that train 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 sometimes. depending on how late they have me closing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was around that time when I was coming off of work and I got off the B and the D. I'm on the concourse. My building is literally 1 block away from the train.
Right.
As I'm touching that corner, like across the street, as I'm touching the block of my building, is when I was attacked from behind. Something hard just hit me in my head, and I blacked out. Yeah.
What?
And when I woke up, no cap, I was in this big ass fucking mansion looking ass house, and there was this blonde female in my face with 2 pigtails and no fucking teeth, like barely. Like she had like fucking 3 or 4 teeth.
Right.
And and the rest of the story goes on, but I was there for almost 3 whole months.
What?
Before my mom found out where I was and was able to rescue me. I had to build. First of all, I fought every day, got my ass beat every day at first. You get what I'm saying? Until I realized ain't no escaping it. So then after a while, I basically stopped fighting, and then when I stopped fighting, I realized he was starting to trust me. He wanted me to move work for him. His name was no good. He needed me to be the one behind the wheel and all that. And so I was moving work for him, and because of that, he ended up giving me a little BlackBerry. And when he did that, that's where he fucked up, because he gave me that BlackBerry. But the problem was he never left me. He never left my side. Always was next to me. He would go with me to the bathroom. If I need anywhere I had to go, he was standing by the door right there, or if not, in there with me. And so when I got the phone, and he's very illiterate. I figured that out. Like, he can't really read or write too much. You get what I'm saying? So I used that to my advantage. He would play the game, and one day I downloaded Facebook onto the BlackBerry, and I tried to get in there, but it's like I had to take baby steps. I swear to God, I will open the app and then go out of it. Then I will put in my username and then go out of it.
Right.
Then I put in the password, then go out of
Right.
it. Like, I had to take baby fucking steps until I was able to write my cousin and everything out. I had to do it just like that.
How far away was this place?
I was in PA Scranton, sorry. Got to mention
You
that.
was in Scranton, Pennsylvania?
I woke up in Scranton,
What?
Pennsylvania.
So wait, was this also like sex trafficking?
I mean, he didn't pimp me out. You know what I mean?
Did he
But
force you to have sex?
yes. He definitely.
How often?
Every day. I was. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I don't even tell nobody this shit. So you're getting a lot out of me. You're getting too much.
I tend to have that effect. I do tend to have that effect.
But-
I am able to get things out of people. This is such a crazy story, though.
Yeah, I know. And I was saving it for my platform. I have
So wait,
never,
so hold on. So real quick,
ever
you've never told anybody
publicly-
this?
Not
Publicly?
like this. I've told. Okay, there's one ex I've told. You get what I'm saying? And my closest cousins. That's it.
Because here's the thing. People need to hear this.
Yeah.
This could happen to anybody.
It has happened to many.
Oh my God. You escaped death.
Yeah, I know.
Well, okay, that happened 12 years ago. When you look back on that and you think about that, at the age of 30,
Right.
what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm very grateful that I'm here. But then, I don't know, I get a lot of mixed thoughts thinking about it now. Before, I had different thoughts, but at this age, I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I'm very grateful I made it out of
Did
that
those people get
situation.
arrested?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Wow.
He did. It was.
Were there
that
other girls
situation-
there?
When he got caught, no, it was just me and him there.
Did he have other
'cause
girls throughout that 3
there
months?
it was just the one girl, and she was attached to the guy.
Right, she was
there
part
was
of
another
it.
guy that
Okay.
was there with him. It was him and his friend, and she technically was dating the friend. That's how they put it. But come on, she's strung out on drugs and all
Right.
types of shit. She was on some hard shit.
Right.
They had her on hard shit, on the shit they were selling. That's what they
Right,
had her on.
right.
And they had her stripping in this club called Cheetahs. I went there one time. They tried to get me to be the same thing, and they made me strip for amateur night. And I was doing so good, it was a problem for me because I didn't want this to become a thing. So I purposely busted my ass on that stage, and I still have the bruise. It's like to the white meat show. You can't see it now, but because I have jeans on. But I remember busting my ass, and he's such an egotistic person. He got so mad behind that he didn't want to go back there. So I was like, good.
I knew something in my gut told me to stop you. I knew something in my gut told me to stop you, man. So, okay. What did your mom and your family think about this when you finally did get rescued? What was their response and their reactions?
They were shocked. Okay, the sad part is I wasn't being looked for. And that's because my mom and my dad's side of the family, they don't talk. And at the time, I was staying at my grandparents'. Remember, I told you that on the concourse.
Right. So your mom didn't have any reason.
My mom knew that's where I was, but they don't communicate. You get what I'm saying? The communication. I was old enough. You get what I'm saying? They didn't have to communicate because they didn't like each other. And so, when my grandmother didn't see me return, she just assumed I went back to my mom.
Oh God. So basically, just two bad assumptions.
Thought I was still there,
yeah.
And my grandmother assumed
thought that you
I
was
went back home, and no one was looking.
And didn't even check to make sure. Hey.
Only my cousin was worried because she knew something was up. But yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. So okay. Yeah. So do you suffer from any PTSD?
I did. I had to take therapy. Right after that, I had therapy for 6 months, almost a whole year. And it was pro bono. I didn't have to pay. She was a family friend. She was really good. I had bad PTSD. I mean, like, every time I heard a car door, I would jump and have to look out the window. And that's because he had me in a trap. And anytime there was a car door or any sound of someone outside of it, he made me go look out the window.
Wow.
So I was still doing that even after the fact. I would see police and legit beads of sweat will pop up in the palms of my hand. Like I could drip instantly just off of seeing the police. And that came about because there was times where we would be driving and I would see police and I would want to say help or something, but I was too scared of them not actually being able to help me and then fucking up my situation worse by trying to attempt to.
Right.
So it was that, like, seeing police just made me so nervous. It was a lot. It was a lot of things.
Have you had any? You did mention that you have had romantic interest since then.
Yeah, it took a while though. Took a while. It took me a long time. Yeah.
What effect do you think that's had on your romantic relationships up to this point?
I don't think it has any. I mean, in terms of...
Like, are you able to feel safe with a man? Are you able to...
Not immediately. Definitely not immediately. I mean, a man has to prove that
do you
I'm
know
safe
the guy's
with...
name who did that? The abductor?
His actual name, I can't give you, but his nickname was Smug.
No good, you say, right? Well, you say Monk?
Smug.
Smug?
That was his nickname. And he had... like 2-3 teardrops on his face.
And is he still locked up?
I haven't even researched it to know. I doubt it. Trust me, I doubt it.
I mean, are you ever scared about anything like that ever happening again?
I mean,
because you're still a small,
I don't put myself in those
positions. Yeah.
Again,
so your situational awareness has definitely improved and sharpened,
Definitely. I'm always checking corners, back, front. Yeah, definitely.
I tell you what, man.
But
so, okay, so listen, I'm about to say, we're about to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right, so at this point, we're here. I tried to show them out. Yeah, there it goes. So this is the place right here, guys. So that's actually a lot better. I was telling the other young lady, that's way better than the shelters we have in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. In Atlanta, you're sharing like a communal space. Yeah. And so here you got your own space. That's a little bit better.
Because it's a family shelter. You got to understand. You can't do that when you have kids. See, every other shelter that's for individuals.
Right. Then it's kind of like that.
Just like that. Yeah.
Okay. So listen, if anybody out there did want to reach out, help or donate, do you have a way they could do that? Do you have social media, Cash App, anything like that?
Yes, I do. I have Cash App.
What's your Cash App?
China W93. I believe that's China with 2 eyes. I don't want to tell a lie.
Yeah. And then what's your Instagram and Facebook?
My Instagram is China Wilson.
Okay. Is that the platform that you said that you have your stuff on?
No, so you can...
Well, shout out your platform. Shout it out.
No. No.
You don't
'cause
want
I'm
people to
not
come and
ready
check you out?
I'm not ready to.
Now
voice
is the
it on
time.
my platform.
Listen,
'Cause it's the thing,
people don't.
I'm
People
still-
always trying to buck on God's timing. Let me
know
tell
what
you
it is?
something. This
Follow
is
my IG,
Okay.
and I'm gonna post my platform on there because I'm still working on.
Is it
like-
YouTube?
Yes. I'm.
Man, you better shout that YouTube channel out. You hear me? I don't care what you're talking about. Shout it out, man,
It's
because
just in the works.
you don't.
and
Nah,
that's the
because
thing.
you.
It's
But you
still
might
in the
not
works.
have.
I
Might
don't
not have
know
this
it off
opportunity
the top
again.
of my dome. It's still in the works.
All right, I'm
So-
gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. All right. Well, listen, Miss, we really appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate
And we definitely wish you and the kids nothing but the best. All
I
right.
appreciate that.
You make sure you have a good one, sweetie.
Thank you.
All right.